Have you officially aged out of that shallow small talk? You know, like when you bump into a friend at the grocery store and you say, "Oh, how are you doing?" And she says, "Oh, busy as usual, doing good." And then you go your separate ways, feeling like you didn't really connect. I think we as midlife women are craving deeper connections and conversations. Today's video, I'm going to share a few tricks that I've used to have better conversations in those small talk situations, to have deeper conversations with friends, and most importantly, stay till the end, how I've gotten better conversations with my adult kids and my husband. Howdy, I'm Jenny, and I'm here to help you thrive in midlife and beyond. You know, I think we can all agree that midlife can be a little lonely sometimes. When we were raising kids, our friends were the parents of their friends. Between family activities, work, and all the other things on our calendar, there wasn't a lot of extra time to cultivate new friendships and hobbies that went along with that. So now that life has changed and we have more time on our hands, we're feeling that loss of connection with other people. The other night at my Midlife Moms group at church, we were doing a fun paint by number little activity. We were painting for like an hour and a half, and while we're painting, we're just talking. And this topic of how to have better conversations came up. One lady said she realized when she goes to a party and all she does is that little small talk, she doesn't really have fun. It's when she can get in the corner with somebody and really get deeper and have a more meaningful conversation that she enjoys the evening more. In our group, we always start with what was your high of the month and what was your low of the month. We really find out a lot about each other when we share this, and we ask follow-up questions so that the person really feels heard. We need more of that in our lives. We need that deeper connection to be heard and to be curious about what other people's answers are. So I think as we get older, we actually crave those deeper conversations. Conversations that reflect who we are now, not just that surface level stuff. So how do we go beyond that shallow chat and actually start having those conversations that matter? Here's a simple trick that I used to teach the shy kids in my youth group. Instead of the usual questions, it's about asking those questions that make people think, smile, or even light up. And you're going to find out so many more things about them when you ask them. The more you ask better questions and get the other person talking, the less you have to talk yourself. So move beyond the what do you do for a living? How are you doing? Get a better question. You're going to get better answers. In situations where small talk is kind of necessary, once you get past that, then you can ask some better questions like, what do you do for fun? Or what made you choose that as a career? Or what made you decide to live where you do? What do you love about where you live? Those are some questions that go deeper than what do you do, where you live, how many kids you have. What's your favorite thing about this season of the year, this season of your life? What's a new goal you're working towards? These questions open the door to some real conversation. Make sure they're not a yes or no question, and give them a little pause to think about what their answer is. And here's the key. You've got to be curious and lean into what they're saying. When someone starts sharing with you one of those answers, a great follow-up is, tell me more about that. And ask little detailed questions about what they're talking about. They feel heard, and you get to find out more about them. Now let's practice this together. Tell me one thing you've done fun in the last week or two. For me, it's been pickleball, and then I got to do paint by number with my Midlife Moms group at church. Now it's your turn. Tell me what you did for fun. You'll be amazed at how quickly people open up to you when they feel like you genuinely care. I've seen this work countless times, even with strangers. This is the way I found out from the guy at Lowe's that his dad used to be a rodeo champion at Texas A&M in the 70s, and he was so proud to tell me of all the things he had won. This is how I found out the Uber driver was writing a book about his childhood and was so excited to tell me some things about that. I learned something new and then walk away feeling more connected. You're really going to see that any interaction throughout your day is an opportunity to practice them. Whether it's the lady checking you out at the grocery store, a neighbor, or even someone you meet at a gathering. Practicing these conversations can make each day more exciting. Here's some more questions. What's something that made you smile today? What's your favorite place you've ever traveled? What's something cool you've learned recently? This summer we went to a really cool event in Denver with set longer tables. It was one giant table with hundreds of people having dinner. You had to sit at a table where you didn't know anyone. You couldn't talk about work, so you just had to start conversations. We talked about so many different things that we would have never discussed had we just met and said, "Oh, how are you doing?" Every interaction is an opportunity to bring a little joy to your life, but also the person you're asking the questions to. Be curious and be willing to share and open up about some things in your life as well. I was reminded of this when I went to a funeral recently of a dear friend that was just a few years older than us. He died of a sudden heart attack, but one of our other friends was giving the eulogy, and he was talking about how they love to get together and play golf. And he's like, I hadn't seen him since February, and we had been planning to get together again soon. We thought we had time. Don't put off these deeper conversations. Don't put off calling that friend and getting to what is lighting you up or what is breaking your heart. When you take time to invest in these relationships and get these better conversations, I promise you it's worth it. Now let's get to how to have better conversations with maybe your spouse or even your adult kids. I know when Brady and I first became empty nesters, we kind of looked at each other and were like, what are we even supposed to talk about if we're not talking about our kids and balancing our calendar of where we need to be? That's where my favorite tip of all. I recommend this to every new empty nester, but get you some table topics. You can get these on Amazon, you can get off brands at little boutiques. Here's a little chat pack. I carry these in my purse a lot of the time for dinner. Instead of us looking at our phone while we're waiting for our food to get here, I pop out some of these little questions and we have the best conversations. Even though Brady and I have been together over 30 years, we still learn new things about each other. I do this when our girls come over for dinner. We do these at holiday dinners. My niece has gotten used to doing them when she comes to eat dinner here, so she begs to get them out because we laugh and learn new things, especially from the grandparents, that things we never would have guessed they would say. And what these are what occupies too much of your time in life? Or let me get another question out of this table topics. If you owned a boat, what would you call it? Who would you choose as Time Magazine's Person of the Year? What was the best TV sitcom ever? Where have you seen the most beautiful sunsets? You can just imagine where these table topic questions could lead you down to. I love hearing everybody's answer, and you really have to listen to each other, ask some follow-up questions before you move to the next person. Brady and I love doing this on date night. We love doing this with our girls and their people, and we learn something new every time we do it. Life can be so much more interesting if you have more meaningful conversations. If you liked this video, be sure to check out this one for more tips on thriving in midlife. And remember, you are worth it, and God's blessings are waiting for you. Now go act like you believe it.